Hey folks, sorry this video's taken a long time. As you can see, it's raining in Yorkshire. It's been raining all week. Today I've stolen the brolly from the garden so we can at least get on with some of this. I'll start with why I chose to go this route to build the van. Obviously it'd been in an accident on the front end. It also had chassis damage through the left hand leg. But this van was actually £8,500 plus £300 delivery, compared to buying a wide long wheelbase panel van with the same mileage, same year, would have been around £17,000. Obviously a lot of the bits for this had been removed or had been damaged in the accident, so we had a long way to go. But initially I thought the cost was going to be about £12,000 to get this back on the road from the accident damage before we started converting it to a camper. The chassis member was pushed by about 1.5 inches into the middle of the van, so we took off the gearbox mount, so a new one of those went on, a new bumper mount, it all got welded up, sealant, paint, etc. and the total cost was about £203.20 to repair this. The amount of damage to the engine was surprising, but it also took a lot of effort to get this back together. Right, just wanted to admit something on this. All these builds sometimes kind of looks like it's all roses. Engine's behind me. This is the third time I've put the sump on. So I take it off, I remove all the sealant, reseal it, go to put it back on. And the problem is these little 10mm bolts, there's some holes where they need to go up inside, well, to the left of the gearbox housing. So first I kept dropping that little bolt and it was going in the gearbox housing, which would mean that I'd need to take the sump off again to be able to get it back out the gearbox housing. So this time I've managed to get all 20 bolts in, but I've dropped the 10mm socket and that's gone in the gearbox housing. So now my problem obviously is, how do I get the 10mm bolts back out of those little holes without the thin 10mm socket? I'm probably going to have to get another one. I'll just show you this. There we go. It just falls in that little bit. So yeah, attempt number 4 at this sump. After going through a couple of tubes of sealant on this oil sump, it cost £207.74. As I said, the biggest surprise cost was the repairing of this engine. We had to buy several electrical connectors which are not cheap. I also had to buy a lot of wiring which again isn't cheap from VW. There was 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 connecting pipes, the boost sensor, a vacuum pump, a coolant pump, all the rad pack, several coolant hoses. I've broken the costs down here so you can see electrical clips and pumps etc. cost £153.37. The radiators and the cooling pipes were £479.99, and then we had to replace the AC compressor because of a broken electrical connector, the condenser obviously part of the rad pack, and then the coolant pipes at the front you can see there were also bent, so we replaced those instead of taking any chances on them. So just to be clear, most of this was caused by the accident, but some of it wasn't. So I had to replace a wing mirror, the rear lights, etc., which had been taken off in the scrapyard. But the total price for all these repairs now back on the road is £4,909.59. Final figure then is £13,709.59. Do you reckon? First time of asking? Ha. Sorry about that folks, but there is a reason that I'm not going to start it today, and that's there's just a couple of pumps and things which I'm still missing. The other thing is also, before I put the drive shafts in, I realised that the brakes probably could do with a little bit of a refresh. So we'll order some discs and pads, some new bushers etc. for this, and then we can put the drive shafts back in. How lovely does this arch lining look? Brand spanking new. And obviously we start to rack up some campervan parts now, so we've got windows and everything to go with those. Max Air skylight, Evo design ceiling, the side pods for the rear, lots of installation, wired campers kit for 240 volts, and North Shore Customs fabricated this bed to go across the back. There's also a mattress on order. So if you stick around, we'll get to the good bits, converting this into a camper. Next week it's going to be the windows and the skylight. Then after that we'll move on to the bed, then the ceiling and the floor and all that kind of stuff, and get it into a version 1 camper so we can go camping on the first weekend of September, I think it is. Cheers folks.